Let's see what we come up with. What's up, family? How's everybody doing? This is the Melanated Convo. This is your brother Harrison. Happy to have everybody with me, but we gotta have a serious conversation tonight, family. A lot of stuff going on in my city, other places around the country that I definitely want to address with the family tonight, right? So, the question I have for the family, just like on some real shit, right? Because these are things that, as a parent, I've had to deal with as well, just as far as these thoughts, like understanding how real this is, right? So, as a parent, the question is, who's watching your kids, family? You feel what I'm saying when I say that? Who is watching your kids? Now, I'm not talking the first thing that pops in your mind, maybe like a babysitter. Yeah, of course, I'm speaking in that regard as well, but mainly in today's society with the internet, with technology, a lot of times the TV is watching your kid. A lot of times the phone is watching your kid. What what's keeping your child occupied while you can't? Whether that be because of work, whether that be because you are absent as parent and you can't and you're not making the time to be there, whatever it may be, right? But we have to realize, if especially today, if you allowing the internet, if you allowing your child's phone to raise them, if this is something they're doing several hours a day, we need to be careful. And this is all of us, family. This is a wake up call for all of us. Let me let y'all hear something really quickly. This is I have a couple different news stories that I want to read to the family, but this one primarily shook me to my core, man, because I'm in Sacramento, California. If y'all don't know, this story is based out of Sacramento as well. So everybody that's just joining me, today we talking about who's watching our kids. Today we talking about how much are we allowing technology? How much are we allowing the influences around our children to affect our job as parents, right? How much are we allowing our children to engage in online activities or TV show, anything that can at times be like the babysitter for us. Let's keep that shit real. You know what I mean? This isn't everybody, but it happens too much in our community and we need to talk about it. Now, the horrific thing is that everybody needs to keep in mind, even if you pay close attention to your kid, you monitor everything they do, something can still end up happening, right? That's why I'm so big on preaching against neglect, preaching against not being prepared when you have kids, because in reality, it's going to be difficult anyways. Like if you do everything quote unquote right, two parents, hella involved, finances straight. If you do everything right, you still may end up in a situation where your kid can be molested, your kid can be kidnapped, your kid can be taken advantage of at school, right? So we just need to be aware of what's going on out here so we can protect our babies. You feel me? So this is your brother Harrison, the Melanated Convo. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't became a subscriber to the Melanated Convo YouTube channel yet, you missing out, family. You feel me? So I want to let y'all watch this video. And this is basically about a 24-year-old brother, 24-year-old black man who has is being convicted or being put in jail basically for pornography, right? For child pornography, over 80 something victims around the country. But I want y'all to hear this real quick. Sickening, family. Let's see. Let's get this thing going. All right. Let me let y'all hear what the news
Center of a nationwide and international child pornography investigation. Video of his arrest released just hours ago. That suspect is in the Sacramento County Jail tonight.
And ABC 10's Luke Clary is live outside the jail as we speak. Luke, you have been learning more about these disturbing allegations.
Can y'all hear that, family?
Yes, Chris, I'm here at the Sacramento County Jail where the 24-year-old suspect, Demetrius Davis, is accused of directing more than 80 young children to produce child pornography in a case that the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is calling devastating and heinous.
Wait, so I didn't catch that before. So this sick motherfucker is getting the children to produce child pornography. How did I miss that? So it's one thing to allow the internet and TV and things like this to raise your kid, or not prepare your children for what can be out there when it comes to introducing them to these devices. That's one thing. Because like I said, these type of things can happen to any of us as parents, right? But he's basically saying that this brother conducted them and instructed them to do things to other family members. This is sickening, family. To me, this is because if he's probably going to mention it in a second here, but the victims are between the ages of 6 and 13. This is a very tender age. This is a young age, family, for these children to be in a position where they're alone enough to actually engage in some of these activities. You feel me? Let me hear some more of this.
Now in custody, the man accused of directing dozens of children between the ages of 6 and 13 to produce child pornography.
This community would be floored to know how prolific this particular crime is.
Sergeant Rod Grassman says the Sacramento Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force has identified 80 confirmed victims across the country and another 15 to 20 around the world.
That's 80. Man, look, and this is the thing, family. I'm all about uplifting my Black family, my melanated family, and making sure those who may be lacking on our parenting, those who may come from certain environments, those who may not have resources, sometimes we are put in situations that it makes us difficult to do certain things, right? And this can even trickle down to our parenting, right? But in reality, this can happen to anybody. So he's saying 80 kids around the world, 15 around the globe, basically. This is family. This shit can happen to anybody. So all of us need to be on alert. Like we need to make sure if you got a kid, they said 16 to 13, look how young that is, family. But we have to keep it real. If we're talking 6 to 13, we talking you giving your 6-year-old the 6, 7-year-old, 8-year-old access to the internet. See, this whole cell phone shit, this is, man, look, this cell phone game, it ain't turning out the way I thought it would. You feel me? And this is what I mean. Giving my kids cell phones. Like I have 5 children. Let me talk to y'all real quick. Hold on one second. So I got 5 kids. Throughout their life, I've tried to provide that type of technology. When my older kids were younger, it was kind of when cell phones was first popping. So I got them cell phones, all boys, right? Over the years, now that I'm older, I begin to look at it a little bit differently and think, damn, this is some real shit. This was actually a bad idea. I think a kid that's maybe 13 and over should have a phone where you allow them to keep it more than just when you're around them, or more than just to get in contact with them, right? 13 or above, maybe you should start introducing them to a phone, the rules and regulations about it, but still like a short leash. You feel me? 6 to 13, in reality, they shouldn't have a phone, family. Let me tell you what I was listening to a dude talk. I think I was in a store or somewhere where, because I normally don't ear hustle. You know what I mean? If people around me talking, I typically don't make sure I listen in. You see what I'm saying? But this guy was talking to another gentleman in a store, and I kind of peeped in, right? He was basically saying until his kid got, I think it was 14 or 15, he gave them a phone. So let's say his 8-year-old daughter, 8-year-old son, he gave him a phone. But once you got home, he took the phone. When they were at school, he measured it so it can only be contacting him. Once they got home, took the phone away from him. Because let's think about it. This is something that I had to realize a little bit later, right? A phone should only be used for a phone if you really think about it, family. The only thing we're getting our children cell phones for, I know me in particular, just looking at my history, my older kids is 24 years old, but I'm looking back now and I'm thinking, damn, the only thing I really wanted was him to be able to contact me, contact his mom, make a phone call out. You see what I'm saying? Being roaming the internet, these social media networks, none of that shit was a part of the plan. You feel me? So I think we need to, I know we as adults in our current generation is 2022. We enjoying technology. It's so many different apps, it's so many different streaming platforms. It's a lot of information to consume, family. And I'll be thinking about this sometime. It's a lot of information to consume for me. Think about how it feels for a child, right? Again, we grew up watching a VHS tape, 15 channels, 32 channels. Then it began to go higher. But in reality, what we can choose from was far and few between. It wasn't a lot of shit going on. These kids are bombarded with all type of information. And the phone, like us providing the phone, we need to be careful with that, especially if your kid is younger. Now, in this news report, it didn't mention if the children were male or female, but that really don't bother. I mean, I'm sorry, that really don't matter. And a lot of my fathers out there who have sons, like, don't do yourself a disservice and think because you got a boy, some of these predatorial actions can't happen to him. Nothing has happened to my children, but I do see the difference. Like, I have granddaughters now, and I approach disciplining them different. I approach loving them different. I approach the outlook on protecting them different. And I don't know if that's such a good thing, because my sons, I gave them more leeway. I gave them a little more rope. Fathers don't do that, because the predators that we talking about, the pedophiles that we talking about online, this can happen to a boy or a girl. You feel me? So we need to be contextual about boy or girl, how we actually handling this parent thing, and really the access we give. Like, we control a lot of this access. You can say to yourself, okay, if I don't give my son a phone, don't give my daughter a phone, she can see it on her friend's phone. She can borrow a phone. Well, yeah, but that's a little bit different. I don't think that's the case a lot of the times. I think when we look at situations where a young person is online engaging with someone they think is another young person, I think more or less it's with a device that was given to them, right? With the amount of trust or information we provide. But sometimes that's not enough, family. So let me let y'all hear a little bit more of this. This is important to me. Not only did it hit home because it's in Sacramento, but I have kids, I have grandkids, and getting older, and I'm thinking, man, how well did I protect my children? Let me keep it real. How well did I protect my children? Who did I trust that maybe I shouldn't have? Right? Because I got another story I'm gonna get to in a second about a stepfather killing a stepdaughter. And these are the type of things we need to talk about, family. Sometimes we think some of these instances can't happen to us, but this can happen to anybody. You feel me? So let me let y'all hear a little bit more of this news report, and we'll move on.
To even paint the total picture of the devastation that this does to young victims.
On December 1st last year, the county task force executed a search warrant at the home of 24-year-old Demetrius Davis, uncovering explicit recordings of children. Investigators believe Davis generated fake social media accounts, posing as a girl named Lizzie, befriending and grooming young children before directing them to engage in sexual acts with other children.
You see what I mean? That's what I was referencing a little earlier, family. So he was able to get a young person online to find, basically, without getting too graphic, find another young person to engage with. This is alarming. They just mentioned something else, that he was basically faking as if he was a young girl. Like, he was trolling online basically and created a profile that he was a young girl. So I don't know if his victims were young boys, right? Or young girls, but the point is, the internet is dangerous. You see what I'm saying? It's just like fire. With fire, you can shit, you can start a fire to make some food that'll feed your family and make sure that they don't starve, or you can burn your goddamn house down. It's the same dichotomy with everything. You see what I'm saying? So I know sometimes as parents we get frustrated. We need babysitters. We working all these hours. Some of my women out here, my black women, are single mothers. So you are using the device or the TV as a form of distraction, so you can do your hair, so you can take a bath, so you can do whatever. We need to be cognizant of what the fuck we're doing, because I think sometimes also we don't realize how smart these kids is. Right? You got a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old. You don't know how well versed they are in using that device, or you make jokes about it. Right? I've seen parents be like, how smart their kid is. They 6 and they can go on their phone and do anything. Well, you better be careful. You see what I'm saying? Who knows what sites he or she is going on? This shit can get crazy, man. You know what I mean? And I'm happy my kids are a little older now, but now I got grandkids. And now I even think back to when my kids were younger. Like, damn, being a younger father, how lax was I with technology? How much did I use my frustration in the moment, or my agitation in the moment about what my son wanted from me, what I needed to do for him? I give him a device or a TV or something so that can divert his attention and I can do something else. This actually, parents have been doing this forever in different forms, right? But now we're looking at too many available avenues to harm your child. If you just look at it in general, you see what I'm saying? We're talking the social media apps. We're talking internet in general. We're talking on these social media apps, just like this dude did. He pretended to be a girl that was whatever age, but how does a kid know, right? So this comes down to us speaking to our children, making sure they are aware of what a predator can do, making sure they're comfortable enough to talk to you, if it's the father or the mother, one of y'all. You feel me? Let me let you hear a little bit of this, a little bit more of this before we move on.
Other relatives and other kids that they know, and film it, and then send that video to our suspect.
And we believe there are more victims out there.
We do.
Extremely devastating. These
Okay.
types of crimes, really.
That's all I want to hear. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, family.
Live on through generation after generation.
But think about that. Hold on one second.
Video of his arrest released just.
But think about that, family, because we're looking at this young dude who's 24 years old. He doing this online, but we got to always look at, like, this type of thing can happen to any child, regardless of your race or nationality. We understand that, right? But as Black folks, let's have a conversation real quick. In our community specifically, right, we are aware, because when we look at what I just showed y'all, that's an online type of thing. That's wrong. He should be put in jail. I don't know if he mentally ill or whatever, but mentally ill or whatever, but he needs to be put in jail. We understand that. But let's look at our families. That's one version of it. But we got to admit, we come from families where so many of the young girls are getting molested or have been molested. So many of the young girls have been molested. So many of the young boys have been molested. And the dude who's doing the goddamn molesting most of the time, and is a man. I haven't heard of in my family any women that do shit like that. But men in many families I'm aware of, right? There are men, uncles, cousins, who we all know be on some pedophile shit, who we all know didn't touch Lil Monica, didn't touch the couple of little cousins. And when it come out, we got to keep it real. We have a lot of our elders who make excuses. Oh, he just sick. Oh, he ain't do that. I know a lot of women who've told me, like, this is real talk, family. I know a lot of women who've told me they came out to their parents, their grandma, Black parent, Black mom, Black dad, Black grandma, came out to them and told them, hey, Uncle so-and-so was touching me. They confront the uncle. He call you a liar. The mama, grandma say, girl, why you lying? Girl, why you lying? Or he say, I've heard this, family. Let's keep it real about our community, family. I've heard this. Oh, she wanted it. She wanted it. She wanted it. You mean an 11-year-old wanted it? In the family who hear this is thinking, girl, you need to quit being so fast. Tell me y'all ain't heard that in our community. Let's keep it real, family. Let's keep it real. I bring that up because this is a 24-year-old brother. And again, he could be mentally ill. He could have been doing this shit completely on the low. But sometimes we know of someone who got some kind of ailment like this and we don't do nothing. We normalize it. We take all the trauma. This is some black shit right now. All the trauma we've had to deal with, be it from white supremacy, be it from our own community, be it from our family, we internalize all this shit and normalize it. Internalize it, then normalize it and do it to other people, and we make it seem like it's cool. It's not cool, right? Think about, and this goes on in society in general, but my people specifically, we harbor these pedophile motherfuckers sometimes, right? And none of this is kosher, family. Like, none of this is cool. You feel me? So this 24-year-old dude, I hope he go to jail. We don't know if he's mentally ill. We don't know what's going on with him, but he should be taken off of the street, basically. Like, he should be taken off of the street. And then I'll be thinking too, I don't know how well you can reform someone who thinks in this manner. Like, let's say, because I was thinking about this, right? Let's say this young brother, 24 years old, he go to jail. He get a 15-year sentence, right? He in jail around criminals, doing whatever they do. I know there's programs in there that'll probably talk to him in groups and all this shit. But he get out in 15 years. Yeah, we label him a pedophile and he can't move in certain neighborhood, or you're aware of him moving into your neighborhood. But what stops him from doing it again? Like, what stops the a person who has the mind to do something like this, right? So this is just the whole pedophile argument in general. I personally don't know if, because to me, and this is just my opinion, family, what you're attracted to, you're attracted to. Can you stop somebody from being attracted to something? If a man, and this is real talk, this is we grown folks, let's get to it. If a man is attracted to young people, that's a sickness, but can it be healed? You see, maybe he's a person who was touched himself or had something happen to him, so he's repeating that same action. That could be possible, but this is a very touchy subject when we talk about individuals in our society who like children, basically. Because when we look at, just to go one step deeper while I'm on the goddamn subject, when we look at this country, I was reading an article like 6 months ago that was saying they was trying to make, and don't quote me on this, this is like loosely, they was trying to make pedophilia like not a sickness, or they were trying to make normalize pedophilia to a degree, like a man who likes a little kid is something cool with that. Like, I think we could be headed in that direction, family. This country, this world that we live in, ain't it a trip how shit just getting worse? All the ailments, shit, all the drugs, like everything that can possibly harm us and was maybe at an infant stage. All this shit is maturing into things that don't make no sense at all. So I heard some about that. But the point is, speaking about my black folks specifically, if we know about somebody in our family that's treating kids in this particular way, if we know about somebody in the community, we need to say something. You know what I mean? We need to say something, because again, sometimes it can be somebody that's sick. I'm not gonna take that off the table. I'm not gonna say, because right, it is a sickness, and you don't want to see it happen. If it happened to somebody in your family, you be ready to do something about it. I respect that. You see what I'm saying? But we can't deny the fact that some of these dudes is probably sick, like literally mentally ill. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't excuse what you did. You should still be punished, but we got to be aware of like the level of mental illness, in the world, in our community as it sits today. You see what I'm saying? So I feel for all these families, like it's 80-something children. And again, when I see 80-something kids, man, I'm thinking, yeah, I know it's going to be some kids in there who, some kids in there who come from single parents, some kids in there who come from like traumatic situations, but it's also going to be some sprinkled in there that's just normal kids, normal lifestyle, like normal upbringing. So let's not think because we're providing for our kids, or they're in a good neighborhood, or they have resources, that they won't fall victim to some shit like this, because they will, right? So the only thing we can do as parents is continue to talk to them, have dialogue about how these things can happen, and be invasive. Like the amount of privacy, this is something I learned too as a parent. The amount of privacy a kid should have is minimal. Like, you ain't no adult. You ain't did shit with your life yet. Nah, you don't need no privacy like that. I need to be invasive because you don't know. Something can happen and you can go right over your head. Like, you don't know the intricate details of how some of these things play out. So I gotta be invasive and I gotta, you know what I mean? Like black parents. Sometimes I see y'all and I'm like, damn, it seems like this parent wants to be a friend. Seems like this parent really cares about if the kid likes them or not. Like, if I institute this form of discipline, I'm not thinking as much about if it's gonna work or not. I'm thinking if they gonna like me afterwards. I'm mad because I told them what to do in this particular area, and now they're not talking to me. Who gives a shit? Like, it's really our job to protect our kids. Get that through your mind. Black parents, young black parents, this is who I'm talking to. Like, if you got your shit together and you in the home with two parents, or you have a really good relationship, you and the other parent, and y'all co-parent, and y'all are already looking into all these things, you're doing everything you can do. You're already checking the phone, you're already checking the temperament, you're already asking questions, you're already giving information, right? You can do everything you can and shit can still happen, but we got to get to that point first. Like, I know a lot of my young black parents, I'm seeing y'all every day. You ain't putting in the work the way you need to. You're not changing you so you can change the life for your child. You feel me? So my prayers to all these families, but this is a wake up call to all of us. The internet, the world outside of your home is a motherfucker. So it's up to us to circumvent the information, try as hard as we can, because once something happened, you can't take that back. You feel me? So one more thing I want to show y'all real quick. Let me take this off real quick. Didn't mean to be out here this long. Remember, this is important, family. Another story I wanted y'all to hear, or be aware of, rather. Hold on one second. Let me share this. Oh, if you guys have not watched my interview with Rev Shock, Philip Shock Matthews is a brother I interviewed the interview came out this last Friday. He's into metaphysics. He's into spirituality. He's real deep into African culture, real deep into African knowledge, white supremacy. Great information on last Friday's show, family. Like, a lot of information about history, a lot of information about the miscegenation laws. This brother was going in. My second time having him on the show, but I consider him one of our ancestors, just as far as information is concerned. Like, he's well versed in our history, well versed in things that have gone on with us. You feel me? So if you haven't done so already, please go to the Melanated Convo on YouTube. Watch the interview with Rev Shock. Great historical information the family needs to hear. If you're listening to this on one of the audio platforms, it's available on the Melanated Convo digital space as well. So Overcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all these different places you can find the Melanated Convo. This interview I'm talking about is there as well. You feel me, family? So real quick, let me let y'all hear this, because this is a situation of a 16-year-old girl. Here, I want y'all to hear this real quick. We have to protect our babies. Who's watching our babies? Who are we leaving with our children, right? All of these are important questions to ask ourselves. Okay, no, hold on one second.
The story first out on Friday. A teenager shot and killed by her stepfather after being held captive.
Well, today he's scheduled to face a judge. Our Kathy Hernandez is on the story live from downtown Houston. Kathy?
Good morning, and it'll be the first time he appears in court. Van Brisbon is now behind bars this morning on a $1 million bond. Let's take a look at his picture. The 60-year-old is charged for murder in the death of his stepdaughter, 16-year-old Lauren Juma, a junior and cheerleader at Nimitz High School. Lauren's older sister called 911 Friday morning saying her stepfather was holding her sister captive at gunpoint inside their Northeast Harris County home. When deputies arrived, they heard 2 gunshots. They took Brisbon into custody and found Lauren dead inside the home. Brisbon waived his right to appear in probable cause court over the weekend. Still, prosecutors revealed that he had displayed erratic behavior before the shooting. Right now, a motive is unclear. Again, he will appear in court this morning and will be inside the courtroom and keep you updated.
Okay, so I just wanted look. This is my point about that. So R.I.P. to that young sister, 16-year-old sister who was killed by her stepfather. Now, granted, I'm all about context. I'm all about being clear, right? This dude could have been mentally ill. I know people don't like that, family, but that's a reality of our society. Some motherfuckers is just nuts. Let's keep it real, right? So this 60-year-old man can be mentally ill, right? Where he just snapped, or because I'm always put that disclaimer out there, he could have been mentally ill. The mama, the kids, he could have been completely normal to them up until this point, right? That's a possibility. However, what I want to address to the family, again, let's use this as a wake-up call, my black women. How well do you know that nigga that's around your kids? This is the point I want to make. Keep it in mind. That situation could be something different, but this is a teachable moment, though, because I see things too often. How well do you know the dude that's around your kid? How often do you see women who are so ready or so enamored with being in a relationship that they ignore signs from a man because they want a family, because they want a daddy for their kids, because they lonely, all these reasons, right? Like, and I spoke about this before, maybe like a year ago, maybe. But look, family, when you have kids and now you're single, boom. All my parents who have children, you have a child and now you're single. The dating game changes for you now. The dating game, it ain't like when you were single or you didn't have kids, or it's not like when you didn't have children and you dating and there's no person you're responsible for. That's a different type of dating. When you out there searching, you should be safe anyways, but when you out there searching and you got a child, now it's a whole different ball game, women. Like who you bring around that kid. And I know a lot of my women understand this. I see it every day, but we need to talk to the ones who may not understand this. Like, I know you single. I know you hurt. I know you want to rebound. I know you be lonely, but bringing a nigga around your kids because you like him, because the sex was good, because he got money, because he doing something you don't know if he a pedophile or not. Like before a woman brings a man around her kids, a lot of discovering has to take place. Like this can take a really long time. This is my opinion, family. I don't have daughters, but if I had a daughter and she had a baby and this was her situation, or any woman I would talk to in this situation, you need to be extra, 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 extra careful. Little girls, little boys get molested all the time, family. Now, the story I just read to y'all, that could have been a lot of things. That could have been, again, him being completely crazy. That could have been him molesting her for a long time and got fed up with it. That could have been him just being an abusive dude who whooped the mama ass, whooped the kid's ass. We've seen women tolerate toxic ass situations because they want to be loved. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Tolerating complete fuckery because they want love and affection. They want to feel loved, right? Right? Let's keep it real. We know women who engage in this type of behavior, and this is traumatic, family. Like this can have a horrific outcome. Now, again, like I always say, the fucked up part about it all, like the horrible part about it all, is things like this can happen to you if you do everything quote unquote right. You can have a dude who you did vet, who you did. I think this is a little more of a rare situation, just be honest, where there's no signs being shown and then just bam. It can happen though, but preparation is key. That's what all of this is about, really, is preparation. Anything can happen, but as my black family, let's be prepared, man. I've seen this too often in my family. I've seen this too often in people around me. The dude don't get vetted enough to actually have around a young child. And this can be, sometimes it's not even the dude molesting the kid. It's how he talks. It's you have a son and you bring this half a street nigga in your house who can't speak a word edgewise, ain't got no hustle laying on your couch, but he got good dick. Let's keep it real. See? So this is what these type of broadcasts is for. This information can help anybody, but really when you ain't on your game as a parent, you not only negatively affect the outcome of your child's life, but really to me, you negatively affect society as a whole. Sending an unprepared person, sending a damaged person out into the world can have a potential negative effect on all of us, family. Excuse me. You know what I mean? So we need to be honest about that. See? We need to be honest about that. We need to be honest about our part, the role we play in the evolution of our children's lives, of our lives. It's serious. I myself, and I always use myself as an example. I don't give a shit. I struggle at times with like urgency in knowing, okay, this thing right here in front of me, this thing is serious. Whatever this thing may be, this is serious. This needs my full attention. This needs to be executed now, right? I think sometimes we take that same approach into everything, into parenting, into working, into relationships, where I know it's urgent, but I don't got time right now. I'll do it later. I'll pay attention to it when I have time. Let me do this first. Let me smoke first. Let me drink first. Let me chill first. Let me go do me first. Like selfish, right? So if this is you as a parent, if any of these things, any of these ways you exhibit, never too late to change. That's my message, family. Never too late to change. If you're a parent doing presumably everything right, you're checking in on your kid, you're monitoring the phone, you're making sure they don't use it, you're making sure they're respectful, you talk to them about the ills of the internet and what can happen. There are parents out there that check all these boxes. If that's you, keep doing that. If that's you, keep doing that. If you know somebody who isn't, gotta talk to them. If you know a young dude in the family, an older dude in the family who you know been touching the little girls, been touching the little boys, we gotta do something about it. You feel me? We can't just act like it's not happening. We can't do none of that shit no more. Because really, if we were to look at the amount of young people who've been molested in America, regardless of race, I think it would floor all of us, right? How common this can be. But we can't sweep none of this shit under the rug. We have to take it serious. You feel me? We have to be aware of who's watching your kids. Is it the school? Is it the TV? Is it your new boyfriend? Right? Is it the cell phone? Right? Let's be aware of that, because it could be too late. Something can happen in because once one of these children have one of these traumatic experiences, being molested, being involved in a situation like this, they are damn near never the same, family. You can't go back on it. You're sorry. I wish I would have did. Cool. But the damage has been done. You feel me? So this is your brother Harrison, man. Melanated Combo. Watch your kids. Watch your kids. Know where your kids at, family. It's been a Melanated Combo. Subscribe, like the page, follow the page, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. I'm everywhere.